In a stark demonstration of the growing transatlantic rift over Ukraine, Prime Minister Keir Starmer reaffirmed the UK's unwavering support for Ukraine's NATO aspirations during a phone call with President Volodymyr Zelenskyy. The Downing Street readout highlighted Starmer's emphasis on the UK's steadfast and long-term commitment to providing concrete assistance to Ukraine, emphasizing the need for continued support for as long as necessary. Starmer reiterated the UK's unwavering stance on Ukraine's irreversible path towards NATO membership, a position solidified by allies at last year's Washington summit. This commitment stands in stark contrast to recent pronouncements from the United States. This divergence was sharply highlighted by former U.S. President Donald Trump's surprise announcement of extended talks with Vladimir Putin, resulting in an agreement to initiate ceasefire negotiations. Trump's statement, suggesting a less-than-optimistic outlook for Ukraine reclaiming all its lost territories, and his apparent acceptance of Ukraine remaining outside NATO, represents a significant concession to Moscow, made even before formal talks commenced. This stance was echoed by U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, who, speaking at a NATO meeting in Brussels, categorically ruled out Ukrainian NATO membership and the return of Crimea and other territories. This unexpected shift in U.S. policy triggered dismay in Kyiv and a palpable sense of relief in Moscow, signaling a potential end to Russia's international isolation. However, this apparent rapprochement faced immediate and strong pushback from European defense ministers assembled in Brussels for the NATO meeting. Former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, while acknowledging the potential merit in Trump's call for increased European involvement, vehemently rejected the notion of a U.S. betrayal of Ukraine. He criticized what he perceived as a lack of decisive action from European nations, characterizing their response as headless chickenism. Johnson advocated for a focused collaborative effort between Europe and the U.S., suggesting that strengthening Ukraine's defenses should be the priority if immediate NATO membership proves unattainable. French President Emmanuel Macron added his voice to the chorus of dissent, unequivocally stating that any peace deal that falls short of Ukraine's terms would constitute a form of capitulation. He emphasized that President Zelenskyy, and only President Zelenskyy, holds the sole authority to negotiate on behalf of his nation. The situation underscores a fundamental disagreement on the strategic approach to the conflict, with the UK firmly aligning itself with Ukraine's aspirations for NATO membership and a resolute defense against Russian aggression, while the US's position, at least under the recent pronouncements of Trump and Hegseth, appears considerably more accommodating to Russian interests and less supportive of Ukraine's immediate security goals. The diverging viewpoints highlight a significant challenge to the unified Western front against Russian aggression and raise critical questions about the future of Western strategy in the ongoing conflict. The long-term implications of these differing approaches remain uncertain, prompting intense debate and speculation among allies about the future direction of support for Ukraine and the overall geopolitical landscape. The coming weeks and months will undoubtedly be critical in shaping the future trajectory of the conflict and the delicate balance of power within the transatlantic alliance.